income.
Yeah, you could see Honorable Ato. He was looking up for reactions from his fellow parliamentarians, both on the minority and majority side. Good to see. But Prince, I'm not going to ask you if you're an investor, but what's your take? Social media is abuzz with investors.
Yeah, it's here, there, and everywhere.
I've not seen investors get it.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I've told Tony Beverly severally.
He's an investor?
To teach me, yes, he's a big investor. To teach me how to go about this.
Josiah Okokwe.
Josiah, they're all in the DJNY.
William.
They're all interested in a little bit of investment. I mean, they all left me behind. But I guess it's also a step in the right direction. Like my brother Evans rightly said. I mean, and even the applause, the here that heralded that announcement
seemed to be unanimous from both sides.
Exactly. And it tells you that, yes, at least we need to alleviate the little bit and pieces of burdens that we can, especially on the average individual.
But some would say that the betting tax, you know, like we heard rumors that it was even going to be increased to 20-30%.
Exactly. You know, but you know
that was an offside trap.
Yeah, but you need to also consider the younger generation, the youth. I mean, majority of them may not have, you know, work to do, for example. But most of the time, if you drive
is betting the answer?
It may not be the answer, the immediate answer, but at least for now, it cushions them.
How?
In one way or the other, at least they get a little kudi, you know, to sort out a few things here and there. And most of the time, when you drive past the betting houses, it's almost always full.
Yeah, but
can you stop it? You can't.
Why not?
But how do we stop it?
We have to find a way.
It has come to say, yeah, you have lived in Europe
on a more serious
on numerous years. But there is, you know, what they used to call the pools.
Yeah, Ladbrokes and the rest.
Exactly.
Very big, yeah.
Very big. So, you know, maybe it's not eating into our fabric yet, but gradually it is. And it looks like it's attracted a lot more participation, especially from the younger generation. I mean, I see young men, young women, you know, on their phones, and most of the time, if they're not sending messages, it means that there's some calculation going on, you know, to find out. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it. You know, maybe I'll let Evans teach me when we are done, so that at least I can also get.
Me a part-time investor. Who's all kind of
that part-time
investor. Now, what I'm saying, who's the name of the addictiveness part of it?
Sure.
How many regulators, you know? Sabi, about low to now. You're gonna you can start you. And your Maya, only sa bet and low to know, almost so the bois, give you back to society, and you made the a pen for so. Almost years, the national lottery authority, your profit, and only people. Almost some business can give you back to society. As part of social responsibility, and so on my name. And now you knew a Samuel Ku, our year crapping off, should be Jenny, on Korea and Chay, on an hour CEO, Edema National Lottery Authority. Not the Ivory Coast for the air and Phantom. Okawa, one the almost no money free mono, at the year the can say no acquaint. A binum at the year is only two so. A big clump of what the national team, the Elephants of La Côte d'Ivoire, are made the winning AFCON champions. It's what me say, Omodiano, you have value for money. At the end of the day, Omi accountable, transparency, yeah, Juma. But over second, and you know, so Nidiano, Juma, no Ankra, I mean, Kai, a Ghana for say. Our Osanabo Sumedane Toso, Macase, Insia, Wafin Pidinia Junimensa, 6th of August 2023, and as our taxes winning on the buy. When we buy as of 23rd of October 2023, now according to Ghana Revenue Authority for no, almost years crime free mono air betting tax no $50 million. It will be answer from 2023 the payment May 2025. I think pinu any of the minimum. Sika sem pa na buy na bi free mo. Na de be na de pa na multimedia de e de aye. Am ye say Ghana for at least 1.2 billion. Taxes no say ka say ye hwa betting tax no 1.2 billion Ghana cedis and yet me dey free mu and ye accumulated one for the you statistician one more can by the end of the day na ade a ye say dey adwuma ubeti aka say ubetu betting ase but you be to ase krakra anything na say akoda wonye ne fie du wotwe no eni say ye dey oba mu bi and Ghana ni bia Ghana card dey mu data it is a who say bia akwasi anson no ewo e can say betting platforms no so abre oni mfie bi wotwe a pen Ghana card no e chese say den ye yini free so de bia no ohia world lottery e can say groups no associations na o ma say ba ko can say you should bet responsibly I was saying regulators no hwe say obi bia o bet bia no sabi onfo sika pudu a wo ho a wo de bebo bra no onfo akoto bet so sika ahodo na de akwa kogu so na wa so oba wini na nipa na bre a o twa de no o twa no wate no o twa bia a sabi bia okodi 100 million hwe sika o de ato so ansa na oba ba wini o so wasa agisen o di mu 1000 Ghana cedis eya pobo eti ene no ye gitum me say aban no se de o man kasa ka no o mu ni kwan bebre o befa so nya taxes ebe boy to a ye de be chichi o man no bebre akonya no ho nti o mo na
your passport, sorry, your passports are even 2012 Olympic Games.
London.
In London.
Yeah.
The majority of the funding came from sports.
Thank you.
175 active betting sites.
Thank you.
And of course, this comes with.
Right. So,
you can see that is being used to build stadia, infrastructure, training for coaches and athletes. So he's asked a good question.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. If you're going to reduce betting tax and you have more people patronizing it, if there is going to be funding from betting and what have you, especially for sports infrastructure, how do you regulate this? It's very important. It's something that people are happy about. But what's the next? How does it show in the sporting industry?
That's what a lot of people will be looking forward to, in my humble opinion, because the first step is the announcement that you've made. Yes.
So more people are likely to bet, as you.
A lot more.
Right.
A lot more. But like you're asking, what would be the relevance of taking away or abolishing the tax? We must see it physically. And so, for example, Ghana as a sports-loving nation, we would want to see the upliftment of sports in this country. Granted, a lot of people like football. Majority of the people in this country like football. But have we considered those who play basketball, those who play volleyball, those who play handball? Have we considered that they've got the right facility? A sports administrator once told me that, Prince, Ghana will not make any headway in basketball or football or handball. His reason, we don't have an indoor facility. Now, some of these games have transferred from being played outdoor to indoor. Now, how do we develop the younger generation today when we can't provide them a convenient place of activity, a convenient edifice that will showcase the level of Ghana in terms of sports? I've always said it, and I'll keep on saying it. The countries surrounding Ghana, for example, all have indoor facilities. And so most of the time, as I speak with you now, Nigeria has been invited to play in a developmental handball championship. They are currently playing against the United States. How do we develop the local handballers we have in this country when they still play at the prisons court, when they still play at the Burma camp courts? It is not fair. So if it is that you have taken this bold step, let us also ensure that the appropriate channels are used to ensure that we can build the facility that we have, so that we can encourage a lot more younger generation of people to also participate in the sports. The just ended schools and colleges sports festival, I think in Cape Coast. The young gentleman who won the 100 meters, who was the toast of fans. If we don't provide him a certain facility, how do we develop him to become the best, if not in Africa, the world?
Yep, and of course across Africa you have
exactly
where he would get even
scholarship. And that is why I always make reference to Senegal. The IAAF has a facility in Senegal that trains young athletes.
Because the Senegalese have shown the show what you can do and we'll help you. Exactly. And it's not too late for Ghana. I think that there's positive trends coming up and there'll be some positive announcements in the days to come.
Africa Games will come. You see facilities now you $196 million. Operational fees in Kwana $48 million. You see Botema a multi-purpose stadium, and say multi-purpose.
Yes, it's supposed to be a multi-purpose.
It's supposed to.
Yes.
It's very weird, Legon Stadium, no. Say Ghana Premier League in any house of folk.
But to say African Games oral is hovering around so maybe the investigations have not been completed. Once investigations, then they'll be able to call the relevant people to answer for this huge money.
Yes, but we can see America. Team now, me local organizing committee, only two. Ninti say Casabia facilities are ye. It's even in Kobe to America. Obi accept about futsal. Say ye Bobby, say who Kuma, ama other nations from Africa, Baby participate here. Then the chess and Kayaba African Games, they know. Yet me athletes are able to with these facilities. But bet now, sorry, Eddie crusade, revival. When me I church of mine about a can see one.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, over the weekend. Well, I spent a few days in Kumasi. The late Pole finally put to laid to rest. It was quite an interesting funeral. Not just the funeral, but events around it before, during, and after. And literally everybody who was in football was present there. What lessons are to be learned from this? I think it's Francis Yaw Ampofo, yes, tragic death, but beyond that, it's bigger than just one person losing his life. As tragic as it was, it's actually an opportunity so that if he's become a martyr, or for us to reset football across board, especially when it comes to safety and spectatoring. And there was a lot of comments said by people. It was beautiful to see representatives from Great Olympics, Bichim United, Dreams FC, and Stratman themselves, representing to say goodbye to the young man. Prince.
First of all, I think on behalf of everyone here at Max Sports, we offered our condolences to the family, and I was particularly thrilled by the fact that it was a peaceful event. He was laid to rest. Ghanaians from far and wide came to show their support. But before I go on, you were there, and some of the pictures we just saw, I'm sure the camera will roll over again. This particular one in the middle. Is it the Kumasi Asante Kotoko outfit, or he chose to put... branded. So you see, it tells you how deep...
No, the Kotoko was his life.
Exactly.
But this picture, no, not all year in the wedding. Or gift news on the Koto winner or the Korean wedding.
I see. Internet say he put the logo there, showing how deep his support for Asante Kotoko was. And I saw a cross section of Ghanaians, coaches, players, ex-players, etc., all coming to the Babayara Stadium to pay their last respect. This clearly tells us that the sense of unity and belonging is what we need in association football. It does not really matter whether you support Accra Hearts of Oak, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, or Accra Great Olympics. Football is football. And like you rightly said, Ghanaians from all walks of life and all clubs.
Significantly, I've read articles, I've watched documentaries, features, which basically, there's Langabel. Langabel in Great Olympics. You see, so everybody who matters in football represented, just to pay their homage.
Sure.
Kumasi apparently is the unofficial capital of funerals in West Africa, maybe in Africa. Are you aware of that?
This is news to me.
Yeah, this is quite interesting.
Yes.
And it's not, you see, the burial is part of a ritual.
Okay.
The funeral starts maybe on Thursday, Friday. There's so many things, and it's actually an ecosystem. So when we talk about funerals, it is not just the burial.
Sure.
It's actually is perhaps, unfortunately, maybe to some, is the least significant of all. The most significant part has actually been put in the background, and rather you have all these things. The cultural side, the spiritual side, food. It's music, into business.
Different festivals.
This was when they were lining up to see, like a statement. That shows you how deep
in the States.
Right. No photographs were allowed to be taken once you were there. It will be seized. But it was I described if poly no.
Ankrah, Mama Nasi, I did back when they said now can. Me no be adwen e ba na mama ne amane a ewo yen Ghana hedi we bia nim said ye no asantefo no wom si fa wo mo die no that serious enu di be mo aka se bia ho ye headquarters e ba no yie ne sa we na ene obi bia se ote ase se sa na akwakoba wo mo na ne no mama yen se ye yi a ye di sika wura mu na ya se nye sika de afi mu enka na yi no akoya amamre keke ye ko si ni pari bia yakoya na konkwaje yi ya no sika sa eno ano no now se die e ye business nipa bebri said the akwesa sports no ye wo mo mom ye we no your mom so di ade no baby di dwa
yes
legends no legends o ma bo Kotoko bobo ko npe no na am so sisi e de free on boss no mu no enti se wo hwe kwan o mo fa so ye wo ho na e ade ba ko a danso e de free even West Africa you know Nigeria o mo se o mo ye o mo de na so ya sante fo no ye no ma sante fo no
afena players no so
afena players na nkasa so esi e de free boss no mu enti o mo ye ma de no ye sonko e ma ne no timi se e aboden poli de no de ma edom etimi ye den e ko wu amu ne se yesi nko no anko beba ene ma na yi baye na wo ya branch en kon fa so di free mu ko hia ne ko fi kwamu wu a na eya na asefem ni senti na kwan a se na miwa anan kire se owo do so ku bi ma Kotoko no the kind of support no show di ma Kotoko krobia boboku a sabe won samna ne se ukuma pema apem beba no na danso empimpim mu no yenya omo ma support boboku no fiti tetentre de ba besi na de na so pole empimpim de na se enwanwa the senti na unya ni no from all walks of life in Ghana outside Ghana wo mi ado do beba board mu na on beta branch no na kwenkwe je yi nachi apempoye na o me ye de ma no na so e ba na disu a yesu de afiri mu a se yakwe we nyina wie a ye gya ne kwan ama na busu anu se ampa abrante no niema na o ye nyina no se na onye ne kwa ene no o kire odo e de maboboku na e asantema wura ne dia ne senti asantema wura so a kire se sabe okwa onye ne mu nti ne man na obehwe omo na so se Ghana ye betena am ya wo kansie no se de nre ye nsu atre man fo free nsu atre omo kwa ko pie no bibia ni ho na ne ombo mu games because of atoye nche na esi eniti ya ban o ma free omo free ho na omo kwa esi konye obi ko hia omo ye betete situation ho obeba abontin to hia me ho apolice for channel ni die ni ade abambofo no se de bia wo teams no bo match sa ombe ye am ya crowds of football game mi ra na se me bo a save zone no na so hwe se ni ka say supporters no after so mo ni 2-0 no wo munya kwanya anko ho save zone supporters o kwa kwa eden ho o de so to stance mu o ti ma bobo no o se ye ya hwele wo bo se ani jiaba o ko ayi dress wu kwa kwa eden na ho so na se de abambofo no se ni sasa de na kesi eti bi ran Ankrah ye betena ho na ye noma yie post ni so oboban onye na duma yie na okọ a oni behwa de nyina ye aduma ba ko a na chese ade no match do about nothing yesi ye no akoyokwa adusua bi owo mu ni se Ghana referees no wo mo hwe sometimes wo decisions a wo take no BBC etim de ba main FC ye nipa over 127 every mu ye ka say never again now so wi ase no poli de no kwampo de e ba be say bibia enu achi ye nya a couple of hooliganisms a akoso ena ne no director mo de atoso no say ya charge a crowds of okufo pe breaches e course na no abra mo bo game no editi young apostles no na so me de ne say Ghana Football Association mo de enhance protocols na ade krata aso ne bu ni ye nan kasa no ni ya tese Ghana Police Service o ma form team a okọ every regional capital a o mo wo mpanifo e ba na agokansie mu a o mbe se no pepeye bambonsem e betima akoso na so ni nyechi na se dwuma no nkoso na de bia e beti sese ni se ya na chese dwuma na ye ni nyina no ye sua bibia anye den amfa firi mu pole de okọ ya ka no so de na wo se ye nya wi ye ko agoprama so a obi bia mo modin na ba bia so tran ontena ho bobofo mo de coach one the technical team na wo so o stance mu ball mu mpani fo mo ko amuso mo ko akoyebi afutu obi e se etu bia no na etu abamofo wo mo ko o maduma yi se de be ya Ghana football no e be free se tu trase mi ya ye free mu e ma pole ko free e ko share ko fi kwa mu wo no na ensa meka be bio na gone are the days na Kotoko any house of folk when o mu simple so Africa na Ghana ni bia e the ambiance commentators free North Africa, East and West of Africa, Southern part of Africa. Team no.
Yeah, and of course you're watching the playback. What should I say? Of Hearts of Oak versus Young Apostles played at the Legon Stadium, at which you were reporting 2-0. The Phobians won comfortably in the end. Some untidy goals, but the Phobians wouldn't mind. Goals are goals.
Goals are goals, yeah.
Yep, this looked like two players trying to get the ball in at the same time, and Apostles were claiming a foul, but no, it was a good goal in the end. And then another goal would come in. But if you take a look at this, it was quite clumsy. The goalkeeper thought he had got it, but in the end, the ball had already crossed the line. Hearts at that point had led the GPL. This was a good cross coming in. Nice work there. And own goal. Very unlucky. Yeah, Prince. So the GPL is back. That's the good news, but still a lot of work to do. I mean, a lot has been said, but more needs to be done practically.
Practically, a lot more has to be done, especially by virtue of the fact that we just had this long break due to the tragic death of Pole. And a lot of people are asking, what lessons have been learned, if any? And I shudder to say that lessons have not been learned, because right from May 9th, we still have the same old situation that's happening at our various stadia. Just recently, as you rightly saw on the screen, Accra Hearts of Oak and their issues, and it will still go on. Those who don't have accreditation all being allowed into the safe zone. And these, you see, these are things that usually happen. And it's not only with Accra Hearts of Oak. With the other venues, it happens. You go to Bechem, is there. You go to the Golden City Park, is there. You see supporters going close to where the bus is. And it is not that they're going there for troublemaking, but they just want to be part of the excitement, the din that goes around the celebration, especially when the home teams win. But fortunately or unfortunately, we've been told that those are no zone areas. And like Ivan said, so what is the role of the police, the security that man the various stadia, especially in times like this? We must ensure that some of these things are done away with, because they are the same pockets of people who, per their utterances or actions or reactions, can lead or trigger to something else. And then the safe zone does not live to its name again. It's no longer a safe zone, but it is areas we must watch. It is almost always nice when you see.
I always love this turf anytime I see it.
The TNA Stadium, it looks good. Midiama also look good when they're playing at home, you know. But you see, apart from the niceness, apart from the niceness we see on the field of play exhibited by the 22 gentlemen on the field, we must equally see same in the stands around the stadium. You see, football is supposed to bring fun and excitement to us.
How do you bring the fans to the stadium?
How do you bring them to the stadium?
This has been for the past decade. Numbers have just been going down.
I shudder to say that the people you see at the stadium are regular people who go to the stadium because there's nothing else to do.
They are football fans.
You understand exactly.
They love the game.
You can't take it away from them. They will almost always go to the stadium, and for us that should be a plus.
You need to encourage,
ensuring that we do the right things at the stadium.
So if these are regular people, normal people who always go, how do you get those who are not normal, regular people and encourage them to join in?
So that's a lot of work that has to be done by all parties: the media, the club owners, or the club management, the Ghana Football Association. We're all partners in this. Because look, if Midiama has a nice game like this at the TNA Stadium, how does the club get the fans to come to the stadium? You have been in Takwa. They have this system where they go around and encourage the fans to come to the stadium. That's one bit. Ghana Football Association will play their bit, and basically what they do is that they advertise the games on their website, so fans know exactly which match is being played at which venue. The media will do a lot of their talk about it. We will take a look at the pre and the post, etc. Everyone is playing a part. But you see, in the light of all these unfortunate incidents at the stadium, we are looking at, well, obviously that one he knows he will take a card for.
Yeah, he will take a yellow card, and I'm even surprised because the manner in which the goal was scored, the channel. So there was a dash, as we say. Maybe he struggled. Yes, the goalkeeper perhaps did not call. So now this is the keeper's ball. He slips. He loses it. It's not a foul, and it's still on. And then the unintentional pass, and still the defender had the chance to clear.
But just
it went off his foot, and then of course he would take a yellow card for that.
But then you can also say, without authority anyway, that the player had also hustled in getting a goal. So it was a gift. It was a gift goal for him.
Yeah, football is back.
In light of all this, and especially with the security upheavals that we have had, I am thinking that this is now the time for all to come on board and on deck to ensure that, yes, we are encouraging you to come to the stadium. Not only you, but come with the family, you know, the kids, the wife, the husband, etc. Come and enjoy an afternoon of football. One thing I experienced in South Africa, well, there's an elated coach, and an elated player.
We have to be optimistic and positive, and all the time I say this, but we also need to work on our branding at the pitch panels and the boardings and where the players' dugouts is something that we also need to work on. Initially, this Baba Yara was not approved. Yes. So I said, okay, we're not going to give you 100% approval. Maybe I find a conditional, based on ABCD.
But you, for example, had the opportunity to interact with Dr. Kwame.
We went round the venues.
We went round, and how clear was it that the Baba Yara Stadium is or was unsafe?
Yeah, so portions obviously are okay, as it were. Maybe the dressing room, tick. The tunnel to the pitch, tick. Security exits, tick. But safety exits from maybe mixed zone and other areas where, you know, security has to be present, question mark. So you need to either beef it up or make sure you do the necessary changes. So they will give you the, what's the word to use, conditional approval based on that. Okay, I'm out 10 days, and now 1 week, and now 2 weeks.
You need to put it.
Otherwise, we will, ban you. And shots from the dressing room, Porcupine Warriors obviously bent on trying to annex the title for Poli. Not pressure, they say, it's motivation. Coach doesn't say any pressure, but rather a motivation. What do you think?
Coach Prosper Nate Ogum, before, in fact, after the game, Bizarre said, then Omiti Babi Wemua, this win after Poli now, right after the day, now, the next day, I was Kotoko Wabebo, no Mutimi Inyasa win. Now, Utina, was say, Sabi Sunkra, then, Ija him. Na ohwe Kotoko place na omo sake wo after the season na ohwe sa break na e bae na omo sande ya ombabo o man tianda na omo eye training ni ade a omutimi nya akwanya e ba be wura mu we ne ye. For now gap no that close. Say house of folk abeto so miensa o Kotoko 37 Bibian goals so 37 and na just 36 into 1 point pe and da wo muntem say director mo the table ni beto so a do won say no competition ni ba be de ba de ba kwa me mu han say it ye any say Yaw Ankra so no mo case fans na be den no maba Kotoko de omo omo de so mbetima anwe ni de ama Poli enya prepare ho enye rushing abotre kakra ye motivate players no na show mu kra no dumadi no ebetimi album de ama but competition no ebetimi high.
Okay, that's the table as it stands now. We'll go through it when we return from the break. We'll also talk about news. One of the big trending news now, it's not actually Liverpool versus PSG at Anfield, but Manchester United's new stadium. They claim they will be putting up in a couple of years. That's really big news. And then perhaps I'll get the predictions from Evans and Prince. Who do you think will qualify from Tuesday and Wednesday's Champions League matches? Let's go for this quick break. We'll be right back.
And online games is here. Lucky Win Ghana. If we say Sika Wofia and Nije Wofia this year, dear, it's your chance to chop big. So play any of our games such as Super Spin, Cash Spin, Classic Roulette, Penalty Shootout, Slot 777, Crash Games, and more at www.luckywin.com.gh. With a minimum of 1 Ghana cedis, you stand a chance to win instant cash prizes up to 1 million Ghana cedis on your phone. Plus, You can withdraw your cash prizes at any time of the day. So hurry now, because Mr. Money know they waste time. Lucky win, play with less, chance to win big. This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, only for persons 18 years and above. Gaming can be addictive.
They say when kwala o makofa bibi the red adro bi the red wu obi ojawa na wate atoku ni na beti ka ho esem kwala ni na tax ni fize betting tax ni dey fize ke 70%. Fize ke 70%. Ye ma no ye ma no me say me bakura twa bi me papa me kan bibia wo mfa.
Charlie, ene dey finance minister no akasa makuma to mi bet no taxes ni sa taxes ni na ye nyaanu mu de to suma no we ni na ye da na se na mbom ade ba ko also focus pa CCI agriculture side no also mo hwe ho no so pa no mo buy no mo titi aduane bo so ni petrol so na o mani timi kwaso me bo ho no mani ni kwan se ka kire mo tutu kwan mu bi so light ne susu ye sre no o mani gina so amidonya me wa ye ni na no pani ahia o
se ne me mani age pa me ti budget na eye o mampani mahama eridi no mani age because enema bi mu wo ho ana ema o ma na ye ho kire yen ema yakasa afa ho saa ese wo maame ana wo papa ebi a wanya coins bi wo sene no na se so di bi abe 10 cedi ana 20 Ghana esa to so ansa onu koyi ni eje wo so sene ni esan enti san ne ma na we ye free on there the whole Ghana start na affect obia wo use phone a wo send ni ska bia be affect enti we ye free on there to me ni there me de pa
de nyamnya se mama se budget from ye na manfo bo se de enso emu nyoma na se be ye adwuma na ye hwe enyoma no montete nyoma so na ekrom so de fine na se krom be de na wo management coffee education so na so be ye sa de we be se mate bed tax be de manfo ma me for na skef ma me for no ho say road say tobut no ye tobut no ye se ni nyansa ho say enipa mu lodu ko ma ala mu nto tobut o mu lodu ko la pass mu nto tobut eti onye to ni say road wet na enye the whole Ghana obi nto sa road wet na mo de ka ho na ye obi kritika so traffic na ma ye tobut obi lodu fika so na oba ayu ye friend say aman from a on toto o da ko la bela campa on toto obi o running wo Accra inside bi enwo toto eto onye ni road wet na onya say o se mdi to ba be traffic ba he nipa dwen no why
sisi a bet no anyway tax mo ye fi we so no ye wuhwe Ghana from Kwame Nkrumah bet to tax ye wuhwe e so my proper we can say economy e betime gina so that rise up sisi a omo de tax we go come market na ma bo na rise up ye wuhwe ntaba ni tinye bibi fan why
ye free so de ye pa bet ne bat ne ma na ye free so na ye sasa na tete boys ne pa ma omutwa bet na de bia na omukasa madwuma mo ha na omu ba nwumre bia ubisa we ya say we di bet 7,000 na ye ti say ye free so nti na otimi ho say ha omu pa nti nda no say ye free so if say boys na omutwa bet ne de ye omu da papa
yeah, so that's the streets, you know, and you should never ignore the vibe on the streets. That's the true vibe. People speak their mind, and you see how it affects almost everybody. So you and I may not be investors as far as betting is concerned, but if you watch and you listen to what they're saying, it's kind of an ecosystem. One person in the family wins big, he's going to spread it across the family, gives mama and the wife and, you know, the kids some to do that. You might think this is wrong. Why don't you go and work? But if there's no work, you can have this argument all day. But it's quite interesting what is happening as far as the talk in town is concerned. Like I said, I'll ask them for their predictions. Who goes through the Champions League to the quarterfinals in a bit? But let's wrap up with the Ghana Premier League, obviously, as far as the standings are concerned, the top and the bottom. You saw at the top there, Kotoko and Gold Star still neck and neck on, you know, nothing literally separating them apart from the goals difference. Very interesting. The Phobians with that will also move up. So the two Hearts, that is Hearts of Oak and Heart of Lions also there, 2 points separating them. And then behind, another 2 points, Nations and Midiama. It's like everybody's locked very, very closely. Then you have Bichim and Brekum Chelsea, again, just 2 points separating them, and a further 1 point defending champion Samatex behind. Let's take a look at the bottom clubs. And you would find that at the bottom, nothing has changed for Accra Lions. They've been in this precarious position for several seasons. I'm not too sure if this time around they'll get away with it. Where in the second round, their coach for many years, Tanko Ibrahim, he's moved to Midiama and is doing pretty well. The Lagos City's also been in this situation. So too Karela last season, remember? And in fact, Dreams as well. These bottom 4 clubs were in a similar tussle at the end of last season, with the only club not there is Heart of Lions, and of course Great Olympics, who were relegated. Adriana Stars mid-table or above number 13, and the new teams are, you know, hugging each other. Holy Stars, Young Apostles, Vision on 24 and 23 points respectively in 10, 11 and 12 positions on the standings. Okay, so let's do this quickly. Who goes through to the next round of the Champions League Europe? Okay, personally, between Barcelona and Benfica, Barca and qualify. We did have a question 1-0. This season, we actually 2 times. It will be clearly Barcelona to qualify. So Barca won on Obeko. And actually, Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, about this stage, one of the cathedrals are Umbetimiaji. Until for now, Bayern Munich also former champions Bayern Munich.
Yes. Umbeche Leverkusen now qualify. And then Inter definitely final Omateti Akesifono Omushe Juventus share you kind of saying AC Milan, but Inter there Simone Inzaghi in the boys already Omudi can we need 2-0 or Mumufi Tiene or Giuseppe Miazano Ombi Juan Elho and Liverpool Paris Saint-Germain. In their history, Liverpool no even copy more Parc des Princes and Corvini game biaho. And their last 3 matches, 2 teams are Omushia. You need draw winning lose. And if you look at Liverpool, say their last 7 matches, lose game biya. And aside that, the last time lose to Anfield, Nottingham Forest, that was 24th September 2024 last year. And ever since then, all Anfield there, and easy. So basically Liverpool, coach and a sort of Bricky Jensen, because as a coach. Anytime you are not travel to France, be a friends are no mabono, not only so about draw now are winning and an team could that win. Per history records in Biano, Liverpool, Etiaka PSG, no matter the squad or a party France are. Oh, and for the you know what the deal is. So
Barca, Bayern, Inter, and Liverpool. Of course, in your opinion,
of course.
All right, but of course, PSG former Casa players who said they were hard done and they'll go to Anfield and win. They've been talking a lot.
Last game no so hwe we first had na so bolu block obomode yes obey counter pressing FI silent me nya the cutting edge anche but all they have the element to bam no onu the new energy fresh leg bam a obey say adwuma no and I think said with this same strategy no on the body tell Luis Enrique Martinez this time openino na adwuma na si nya dia obe qualify and I think
no why never come on Wednesday
ochina nyame ya aduma Lille Dortmund and so a big stage baby odu no onu ahead chain Lille so we decline abo 1-1 there but I think say Dortmund will qualify away of France and then Arsenal PSV definitely Arsenal
it's a
so omoko and say Real Madrid for you careful because I think Real Madrid say ombe Atletico Madrid between them when it comes to this Champions League and Real Madrid and Casani pedigree being the the Grand Masters of the Champions League, you know, Ombe qualify over Atletico Madrid, but going to meet Arsenal, say Carlo Ancelotti, careful. Aston Villa, Club Brugge, American Jumano, and so Belgium Dada, or Villa Park and Ochana. You hear him say Aston Villa, do now you know Emery with his experience, what can qualify to the quarterfinals.
Barca, he's already talked about Barca Benfica. He said Barca will make
I virtually agree with him on those lines. I mean, the teams that have picked up wins in the first leg will want to clearly show their dominance in the second leg. My only worry will be if PSG can live up to expectation, because like you rightly said, yes, there's been a lot of talk, and they believe that back at Anfield they can scare Liverpool. But all said and done, I want to believe that The first 4 that will play later tonight, who are leading on goals aggregate, would probably cement their qualification to the next stage of the competition. And so will we see those who would play the following day on Wednesday. Again, it's a tough game between Athletic and Real Madrid. Anything can come out of that game, but I trust Real Madrid based on their experience in the competition. Arsenal definitely will go through. Borussia Dortmund would have to lift themselves up if they can get a win over Lille. And obviously, if all those pairings happen, the next stage of the competition should give us the best of the pairings. Bayern Munich did a job away from Leverkusen. They returned home to the Allianz Arena, their home grounds, and so I'm sure that
2 big clubs that are not there, Chelsea and Manchester United. But United have come up with the news that they're coming up with a 100,000 capacity stadium. Big news. That kind of takes away the negative talk or reality of what's happening on the pitch.
On the pitch, yes, it does.
And Koyema United.
It's not been their season, if you ask. And it's been topsy-turvy. Obviously, they would have to do a lot of hard work to gain some grounds. But obviously and clearly, this is not their season.
Manchester United, since Alex Ferguson free hono, coach waiting about baby BS on Jose Mourinho, the special one, 2016 Europa. No, it was the only trophy I never missing. Ever since then, winning the EFL Cup, the FA Cup, any news, Manchester United, the Bakua, Ubibia is only to say, will not do about back or come on Masoti fans. No, some stadium yet, stadium in Old Trafford, Titi Stadium, what is a BBA dressing room,
theatre of dreams.
Theatre of dreams. BBI, the Arne, Ubagana, the other two, Ubako, the woman, Ubaka, no go to that. If said you have to dream session, so I'm up to Manchester United. I was so aware of a surgeon worker of Niggles, no, who's an unknown fans, no, I will England, only demonstration. Only demonstration, and the two was it, Bema, Odumana Moyano, Bear of a Bukuma, and I'm come America, I'm caught now. So I think say United, on stadium number be seen there is a step in the right direction, but I was saying Ruben Amorim, Yamiya Duma, Yababi Room in the summer. Bruno Fernandes now no case, Obey Yan Sesso, Bay do. Ama Dubako, no Manchester United, so be yes, I did ya. I brought my planning, say 100,000 capacity stadium on Bababisi after Old Trafford the year at a tear pro, said we will do better year. Eric Ten Hag more anti-man manual or the Copimu or Sergino. This time, on Babisino, they should also go to the market, look for good players on class, and Manchester United, Yenibi. Now, yes, sir, Bruno Fernandes, Modern Mono, any Manchester United and go, no, or Bobo so, why will be Jawako, and Okwa. I think that they will be missing a jewel in their setup. So, and not only the stadium, no, Asempa and United fan, but Miranka, they should also go to the